All right, all. Welcome to the 5-Star Diamond Mastermind call. So excited for today's call. I'm just going to get right into it. So want to introduce Heather Dixon, who, this topic is fun because she is amazing when it comes to volume and really creating a strong foundation with her volume. She's actually been a coach since 2008. So before there was challenge packs, before there really was anything, right, Heather?
Right. No technology even.
Okay, back in the olden age.
At all.
But it is amazing because she has become a guru when it comes to volume. She speaks to so many coaches about this topic. When I'm meeting with coaches one-on-one, they have it written on their board. They have it all mapped out, and it's because of Heather's help with this. So Heather is a mommy of 3 from Texas, and so we're just going to jump right into it, creating a strong foundation with your volume. Go ahead, Heather. The rest of you, please mute yourself. We are recording. Okay. And then, of course, question and answers once she's done. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you for having me. And, I think we all feel like this, that we don't have anything to offer. and I feel like that all the time, but this is the one thing that I do know, and that's volume. I'm going to preface this with saying, because when you talk about volume, you talk about money, and I am not money hungry, or I'm not, insensitive when it comes to relationships, and I teach my team to have relationships and things like that, but I'm not going to go into all that. So you guys already know, what it takes to build this business. I'm also not trying to tick off corporate and trying to discourage you guys from shooting for elite or trying to rank advanced. That is not what I'm saying at all when I go into this topic, okay? So as she said, we are talking today about building a strong foundation on volume. Why? I mean, we've talked about building a strong foundation for relationships and team culture and things like that, and that is so, so important, but it's also important to build on volume as well. Why? Well, back in the old days, we didn't have challenge packs. We didn't have Success Club. We didn't have Elite. We didn't, in fact, Natalie Tuman, who is a coach in my organization, she's the one who told me about Success Club and Elite. And so, I mean, we just didn't know about all this stuff. Caroline Van Zant was with me. I know she's on this call. And, so what we had to do is we had to build on volume and product and retail. That's pretty much what we had. When we talk about volume, we're talking about paycheck. And I'm going to tell you that rank does not equal money. It doesn't. And some of you may have experienced this in the past or lately, or experiencing right now, or maybe you have people on your team that they hit this certain rank and they're just not making the money. So they're very, very frustrated. I experienced that at one time. I've got a friend who is 10-star diamond, who was making $1,000 a week. I mean, I thought 10 stars made like $40,000 a week. I thought that the income was there, and that's just not true. Okay. So if you want to have that sustainable business, and I'm talking about a business that is very consistent every single week. Every week, you want a consistent paycheck. You want to know how to pay your family's bills. Okay. And so that's why volume is so important, because yes, there are so many coaches who need that recognition and they need to rank advance, but deep down, if their bills aren't getting paid, that rank doesn't mean jack. Okay. And so yes, they need this stuff, but it's important to teach them how to make an income so they can begin to live the life that they really dream about and the reason they got into Beachbody. Okay. So a bigger paycheck is built on volume. So I'm going to tell you right off the bat that one side needs to be doubled than the other side. Okay. Whatever it is, right or left. One side needs to be stronger and it needs to be doubled. Now, there are coaches all over the place that know a heck of a lot more than I do. I probably am low man on the totem pole, but I'm just telling you what I've experienced and how I've been able to grow a huge paycheck and to retire my husband before he was 40. So one side, double the other. Okay. And, you're going to hear some things. I'm not going to talk about it today because I'm just now understanding it. But, you'll hear from other coaches that talk about carryover volume and all that kind of stuff, and how they're now saying that you want one side equal to the other so you can maximize that carryover volume. I will tell you that, number one, that's not consistent. So you can't count on that weekly paycheck, especially if you are paying bills with this paycheck. You want, like I said, you want something to count on. And in the 7 years that I've been a coach, I've actually maximized carryover volume maybe twice. And one was recently. So it doesn't happen all that much. And, if I were to cash in my carryover volume, I would probably make like $54,000 right now. So obviously that's not going to happen. So, it's all based on team cycle and how many times you cycle. So, if you're really trying to build your paycheck, work on building double one side versus the other. Okay? So the reason I tell you to build on volume versus rank, because in 2011, December 31st, that's when I hit 5-star the first time. Why? Because my coach, Melissa McAllister, told me, Heather, if you want to be somebody in this business, you need to be a 5-star. If you want to be on the wall, and if you want all these, extras, then you need to go for 5-star. So I'm like, okay, absolutely. So I pushed and pushed and hit 5-star. And at that time, I was only making like $700 a week. And for some people, that's like, oh my gosh, that's so much money. That's amazing. And for me, yes, that was life-changing because that is a significant income. But again, I was thinking, all right, well, that doesn't seem like a whole lot. Okay. So right after I hit 5-star, I got that awesome bonus. And at that time, the bonus was a little bit more than what it is now, and which was great. However, 2 of those 5 diamonds fell off. They quit. They quit altogether. They left Beachbody. The reason they left was because as a diamond coach, they weren't making anything. Like their cycle bonus was about $18, so they were not even really making $100 a month on team cycle. So what was the point of them working towards holding that rank if the income wasn't there? Okay. So right after I hit that 5-star, I dropped to 3 immediately and held it the entire year. Never got back to 5 until I started pushing towards elite at the end of the year. Okay. So got 2 more diamonds. And again, they fell off right after. Why? Because the income wasn't there. So not only was I not making that bonus from being 5-star, it just my faith in myself and my business as a leader was falling because I couldn't teach these people how to make more money. I couldn't do it. Like if they weren't hitting Success Club and people didn't want to join their team for some reason, something was off. So as a leader, it's very important for us to be strong in that area, to know that we're leading our team and we're helping our team achieve what it is that they need. And for my team, these people, yes, they need a little bit of recognition, but they need income. Okay. So what I talked to my husband, he's a numbers guy. I'm a numbers guy too, but he's really, really amazing when it comes to this stuff. And so we realized that my volume wasn't growing. So therefore my paycheck wasn't growing. And so we figured out ways that we could boost the volume. And we push for 10-week periods because, our paychecks range from one week to the other. This last week I lost $2,000 from what it normally was. And does that suck? Yes, it's awful. But over, the course of a 10-week period, when you average it out, it tends to be pretty consistent. So that's why we said 10 weeks versus like 3 or 4 even, or even 6. Okay. And every 10 weeks, I focused on boosting my weekly paycheck by $1,000. So what are the numbers? What does that mean? Well, in order to boost your team cycle bonus by $1,000 a week, you need to be averaging 5,000 more on your weak side and 10,000 more from where it is now on your strong side. That gives you roughly like $900. Okay. And when you add in the 10% bonus and that kind of stuff, it will equal around $1,000. So we pushed for 10 weeks. Now, and here's where I don't want to discourage you from anybody, because I hit elite 3 years in a row. So that, yes, that is on my radar, and that is a focus of mine. But for that 10-week period, I did more focusing on volume than I did on my coaches hitting Success Club. Okay. And because I knew what I needed to do to retire my husband, and I had to double his income, and that was a lot. So, you have to do what you have to do. And just hitting Success Club wasn't doing it. So the ones that were hitting it, we're going to continue to hit it. What about the ones that just couldn't do it? If their life depending on it, what if they couldn't get a Success Club point? Well, that makes them feel very discouraged if that's all we focus on, if that's all we recognize for, and that's all we push. Well, if they get discouraged and frustrated, what's going to happen? They're going to quit, or they're going to step away, and they're not going to focus on their business. Okay. So we focus on volume, and remember that retail does matter. So I went back to an old tracker that I did back in 2000 and maybe 10, or I don't know. And it included products, not just Success Club. Yes, Success Club's on there. Adding coaches to your organization was on there, but also adding products as well. And this ranges anywhere from the club membership to Shakeology by itself to, just a program or E&E, whatever was on the market at that time. I don't even remember. And, I made a big deal about product instead of just Success Club. So that's one of the things that you might do. If you need to grow your paycheck, then you need to start recognizing for volume. And you can do it, volume earners of the week. You can do like a monthly, top 5 volume earner, whatever, for the whole month. But I give incentives now for volume versus Success Club. I know that as, if we're pushing for elite, we reward our coaches, with whatever, wear and share, whatever, for hitting Success Club. I also do it for volume, because I want those coaches that aren't hitting Success Club to still feel successful, because eventually they're going to gain that confidence and they will hit Success Club. That's all it takes, is having confidence. Okay. We focus on something called good, better, and best. And this is actually not my idea. This comes from somebody in my downline that we just started doing this year. And it's like a good, better, best. And we kind of list it out. Here's good: the 21-day fixed containers plus the cookbook. Now, if someone purchases that and they just change their diet, they're going to get good results. They're going to lose a little bit of weight, right? Well, there's a better option, and that is the actual program, the 21-day fixed program by itself. If they follow that program, they're going to have amazing results. And then obviously the best option is a challenge pack. So, they're going to get the best results with this, and they're going to get all these extra goodies too. Everybody loves free. So good, better, and best, that takes the pressure off of that coach who can't sell a challenge pack. And that boosts your volume. Okay? One thing that I did personally, and I actually teach my leaders to do, is to dive deep in their downline. I'm talking as many levels as you can go down. Okay? And this is actually how I boosted my income by $1,000. And I will say, this does take a time commitment. So if you're scheduling out your day and out your week, if you're choosing to do this and you're going for elite, you have to make sure that you schedule in time with your personally sponsored coaches. Okay? Because what you're going to be doing is you're going to be training your team, not just your PS coaches, your whole organization. You're going to be doing one-on-one calls with those guys. Okay? And that takes time. So make sure you schedule that in. So I chose 10 to 15 people in my entire organization. And they were leaders as far as volume. They had consistent volume every single week. 300, 400, 500, sometimes 1,000 PV every week. Okay. So those are the guys that knew how to retail, right? So I chose those people. Those were my strong runners. And each of those people were considered, like Anna Gray calls it a pod, but I considered them an organization or an entity all by themselves. So here's me. I'm this top right here. And then I have all these people, okay, that I'm choosing to work with. And so those 10 to 15 people, that's who I would have my one-on-one calls with. I would, if I needed to do 3 ways or 4 ways or get on a Zoom with several people on their team, I would do that, okay? And what I did was I helped them train their coaches. So I did a lot of work over 10 weeks, but it paid off, okay? We want a system of duplication. So we can design all these systems all we want. You can have this system, you can have this system, but if your organization to get checked to the curb, because there's a lot of coaches now in my organization that rank advanced to several star diamonds and became elite. And guess what? I was the one who helped them get there. That still benefited me. So, you know, if that is like what your focus is, then you got to let it go. You got to make a decision. What is your goal? Is it, you know, are you here and you want to go for your rank, or are you trying to build a paycheck? And you need to be excited for those people, okay? So we duplicated volume with each person within that little pod, however we could do it. You know, whether it was the good, better, best, we would have volume pushers like Team Cup or whatever. Again, it wasn't focused on Success Club. We quit pushing rank, and I started helping people try to cap out at whatever rank they were. The reason is, you know, as an Emerald coach, you cap out at $250 a week for Team Cycle. As a Diamond, you cap out at $2,000. So there's a big difference. So you say, go to Diamond, go to Diamond, go to Diamond. But if those people are only making $36 a week for their Team Cycle and they're about to lose rank, and I go, hey, Megan, you know, you're going to be losing Diamond this week, which means I'm going to lose, you know, my rank and so forth. And she's only losing $36. Do you think she's going to care? Probably not. So if I focus on helping them cap out at whatever rank they're at, so Emerald really pushing on building their volume and helping the people in the organization build volume. So once they get to 250, and I'm like, okay, well, guess what? You're capping out every week. You got to start working on that. So if you need to add some coaches, let's work on that. And so they get to a point where, you know, they're making like, you know, $800 a week now as a Diamond, and they're going to lose rank. I can say, oh my gosh, you know, you're going to lose $650 this week if you lose rank. That is more of an incentive for them to make sure that they hold their rank. Okay? So work on helping your downline and your coaches build their paycheck instead of just going for rank. And again, that it's all up to you and your goals. We do coach-only challenge groups where only the coaches in our organization, and it could be open to anybody on my team. I got 1,000 people. We do that because discount coaches, they contribute to volume. And so often, if someone is a discount coach, they will fall off and they will go inactive, or they just don't do anything with their business. But if they are active in a challenge group where they feel comfortable because it's their team, they are probably going to try out new products. and they're probably going to start talking about it via social media, which will bring more eyes on them, and they might start building a business. I've had more discount coaches that have started to build a business now that are focused on going for it because they were a part of a coach only challenge group. Because all it does is it takes one person to go, oh my gosh, I tried the Energize and like I can't stop bouncing off the walls, and then everybody else is going to want to jump on it. Or, if maybe they've been doing Max 30 and they had great results, but then they switched to the 21-day fix extreme, and in 21 days they like shredded themselves. And they're like, holy crap, Max 30 was so awesome, but I got these results with 21-day fix extreme. What are they going to do? They're going to go try out that new program. Okay. So that is a great thing to do for your coaches. And I ask all of my discount coaches, because discount coaches are important. They're important for holding rank, and they're important for contributing to your volume. So everybody matters. What else? Okay, so now I know that I could talk about this literally for hours. And I did a training for a Diamond Dash, and I had a 5-day training. So all on volume. So there's so much information. But I am going to give you some numbers on how you can help boost your volume. So like I said, we incentivize for volume now on my team. And we have a little group called Pump Up the Volume, and we're getting ready to push towards Christmas. Okay, because everybody, I don't care who you are, you would love some extra money to spend on Christmas, whether it's to give to somebody or, to be able to, help your family out a little bit more. Everybody wants it. So you guys know about the Beachbody On Demand, and you may already do this. This is probably not new, but just to put some numbers, in addition to it. So say you have 10 coaches that are going to run a Beachbody On Demand group. And here's the thing. Challenge groups right now are a beating for me. And I know that, and because I've got 2 kids playing football and it's busy, and then we're coming into I'm pushing hard for elite and, all these things happening. So, to have one more thing, a challenge group that takes a lot of time, it's hard for me. So I'm trying to get other coaches involved as well. All right. So Beachbody On Demand Challenge Group, and you may already do this, like I said, but say you have 10 coaches in your organization, not just PS, but in your organization on your weak side. And you challenge these 10 coaches and you incentivize them in some way to have 20 people join their free Beachbody On Demand Challenge Group for 30 days. Okay. Because the Beachbody On Demand is free for 30 days. They give their credit card. And at the end of the 30 days, that free trial, they get charged, okay? Well, if you put together a program or you all join heads and somebody has, a set schedule for each workout of the day, they've got access to all the menu plans. So, and you say, we're going to follow this menu plan, the T25 one or whatever it is, Insanity. And, so everybody's gung-ho. Everybody loves free. 20 people decide to join, all right? Well, every time that person's Beachbody On Demand is renewed, it's 15 volume points. So you have 10 coaches, 20 people, 15 volume points. So 20 times 15 gives you 300 PV. That's for one coach. One coach. You have 10 coaches. So 10 coaches times 300 PV equals 3,000 PV additional that week. You're all a diamond. So 3,000 additional PV on your weak side equals a roughly 30 team cycles. 30 times 18 equals $540 in your pocket. That's just from a free Beachbody On Demand group, okay? Now, what about your coach? Each coach makes $300. Do you think that's going to incentivize them to maybe go a little harder next month or to get a little more serious about their business, right? Remember, if coaches are making an income, they're more likely to stay. And if it's a significant income, $300 is a bill. That will help them stay, especially the ones that are struggling with hitting Success Club. Okay, you can break it down however you want. 20 coaches that only have 10 customers will give you the same give you personally the same volume points. They'll make $150. Okay? So that just goes to show you what adding volume to your weekly amount does for a paycheck. $540 is a lot to add each week, right? And the compound will be in effect. So if they do it every month and you have more coaches in your organization jump on board, your volume bumps. And from what I have seen, the statistics, those that are participating in a really strong Beachbody On Demand group, there's a 70% success rate at having them either join as a coach or get a challenge pack. So it's pretty good odds.
I know there's going to be so many questions.
I know, and I'm done. That was it. I promise.
We better open it up. I hope you guys, it sounded like you kept on going. I lost service, obviously. And so hopefully you were all still able to hear what was going on, and I hope it records, obviously. But go ahead, guys. Unmute yourselves. Start asking questions, because I know we have about 20 minutes. But do pick Heather's brain on this, because it's incredible. Thank you, Heather.
I have a question. Heather, you had said that you get a few coaches and you focus on helping them get 2 to 4 coaches, increasing their volume. So what kind of things do you encourage them to do?
Well, it's not just them. It's them plus everybody in their little organization. So like say you're a coach of my team, and say you've got 4 coaches and one of your coaches has like 3 coaches, and I don't know. So it's all of those people combined that I add, like that counts. So it's not just them personally. So, like your PS, because it's a matter of bodies, and it's a matter of the amount of people and volume that you have in your organization that really contributes, so that's what you're trying to do is increase. So it's not just PS, it's not just even theirs. It's them plus, everybody that's in their little pod. And that's like this, I did an entire hour Zoom on that one subject because it's so complicated. But if you think about it, as many people as you can, just trying to get 4 coaches, that breaks it down to much more doable, if it's per little organization.
I have a question. You said you would give incentives for volume. I've done incentives for rank and for Success Club. In my experience, the people that would hit it anyway are the ones that get the incentives all the time. So, and I'm fine with rewarding them, but I want to give incentives to make people that aren't hitting it do it too. So have you had good luck in that area? Right. And what do you use?
Actually, yes. It's usually like an Amazon gift card or something that they can go out to eat on. And it's not a lot. It's $25 or something like that. But, I do it. Well, I encourage all of my leaders to do this so that they, because yes, you're right. The ones with the top volume earners is my 5-star coach, my 2-star coach, all of the star diamonds. So they're not included because they have their own organization. They have their own teams. They're a part of my group, but they do the same thing in their, to try to boost volume as well. So it's for the coaches who are diamond and below. And I'll do, I do recognition obviously for weekly volume, and I do it for 200 or more because, and that's for the people that need recognition. And then I'll do the top 5 volume earners for, just for the total month or something. And, and I'll break it down, maybe the first, and sometimes it's wear and share. I just did jerseys, I've got one right here. I've got a girl with our team name because it's football season. And I just put coach in the back, so just silly stuff like that. That didn't cost me anything. Sometimes I do an agenda, like a mom agenda or a planner or, whatever it is, weather's coming. So I've done blankets with the Insanity P90X logo just on the corner. That was a huge hit. It only cost me $10 each to do. So, it's different for every month because I used to just, incentivized for Success Club, but I got really frustrated myself because I was like, nobody's hitting it, and especially like for some reason, this was a tough month. Last month was a tough month. So I want people to feel good about getting a paycheck. And if they're getting a paycheck or if they are buying product for themselves, that's another thing too, a reward for them being a product of the product.
Awesome. Thank you.
It keeps it on track. Yeah. And you can set your own standards however you want to do it.
Really? No more questions? I love this, first and foremost, Heather, because it's exactly that. You want to get your coaches successful so they do not quit. I think that's the biggest reason we teach, two-star diamond, because you don't see the fruit of the labor until you advance to two-star diamond and above. One thing Heather and I have talked about, now she's the point where she is capping at 5-star diamonds. Even she, I know, look at her, she's like, I don't even want to talk about it. So it's
every week cap out.
Right? So, I mean, right? Meredith's like, what's the cap? Do you really want to know? Just kidding. I would have to look it up. Do you know what it is off the top of your head, Heather?
7,000.
There you go. Okay.
I lose between 1 and 3,000 every single week. Last week I didn't. Last week sucked, but every single week it's like,
which is
crazy.
Yes. Yeah, which is absolutely crazy. But even, Heather now is at the point where she's like, okay, I have to advance my business. I have to do it. Yes. And so I love this approach because you want your coaches to be successful. And it is hard at times if they're not getting the success, it's easy for them to quit. So please, please, please do kind of see what is working within your team. Incentivize on the volume. I love that idea.
Mm-hmm. And and I also wanted to say that a lot of times coaches don't have like a super strong side. If you are kind of even, pick a side and go. If your second business center is on one side, go with that side. That's so important. Natalie Tuman, she was on this call earlier, and she was so even every single week, and so now she is way more than doubled, which was awesome. So now she's trying to play catch up. So it's great to have that problem.
Heather, I have 2 questions for you. Can you guys hear me?
What is the lower hand on your picture, though? What is that?
I don't know. I'm on my phone and I hit something. I think it was like a raise your hand button. I don't know.
It's raised. Go ahead.
I have questions. Okay. So my legs are really even and I barely have any cycle bonus or any carryover volume. So can you, and I know you kind of talked about it, but will you explain the benefit? I mean, because I barely have any carryover volume, so it doesn't seem like a bad thing. So I'm like, I'll just keep building evenly. And I guess it's just a matter of opinion. But because for the longest time, I was under the assumption that like you had to have one leg that was bigger, but it literally goes back and forth. Like it bounces, I get 20 cycles on one side, then like it keeps going back and forth. So would you help me figure that out? And then the other question was how.
So make it even.
What's that?
No, go ahead.
Oh, and then the other question was the best way. I'm not good with pulling the reports in the back. Like, what's the best way to pull all the reports so that you can see, so you can recognize for volume?
Okay, so to make it even. Okay, so when you are even, you have the 200 on one side, the 100 on the other, and that gives you a cycle. Okay, so if you are 2,000 on one side, 2,000 on the other, say you're directly even, you only get 10 cycles. Why? Because 200 goes into 2,000, right? And 100 goes into 2,000. So you have to be like, it's kind of a 50-50 split. So you divide that whatever one of the sides in half, and that's basically the amount of cycles that you get. Okay.
And I always thought that, but I'm wondering if that's, I don't quite understand. So I don't mean to be argumentative. I'm just trying to think through this because I always thought that I'm like, you have to have that. And then that always carries over. But what's happened with mine is it ends up no carryover. Like it piggybacks back and forth and it's just there. Like the volume goes away. Is that wrong? No, that I'm saying like it doesn't, like I don't waste it.
No, you waste it. Like you'll carry over, it's there and it sounds much better than it is. Sorry. If that pisses anybody off at corporate, sorry. Carryover is not as great as like several people make it sound. Can it be? I'm sure. Like one time I made $400 more than what I thought I was going to because of carryover. That's happened one time in 7 years. One time. That's it. I might make $18 a cycle. So, if you have one, that's one side, whichever is the higher side, okay? The higher side, the most you can make, the most amount of cycles on the other side, your weak side, the one that's not as high, you're going to have to divide that in half. Divide that in half and go and divide it by 100, okay? That sounds way more confusing. I'll do a video on it. But
no, I was always under the impression that it needed to be a 1-to-2 ratio, but mine keep bouncing back, and I end up, even though my legs are the same, I have no carryover. So it ends up like it'll take 100 from the left and 200 from the right.
1-to-2 ratio, and pick a side and go. Uh-oh. No, don't stop. Can you guys
let's see, who was that? Julia, I have the same thing. I'm wondering now, I'm just thinking about something, because my legs are even as well. Like if I have 2,000 on both legs, I don't see any carryover, which you would think that 1,000 would be left on your weak leg since it's only pulling out 100. That's what
But it bounces back and forth, doesn't it?
Yeah, so I think that's what I'm learning now too, is that it'll take out 200 on your strong leg and 100 on your weak leg until it like depletes all the 200, and then it must make your other leg your strong leg.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say, is the weak and strong legs can go back and forth, and so it doesn't, if they are even, you end up going through the volume. That's what you said it right. So it's like okay, one time it's 100 and 200 on the right, but then the next cycle, depending on where the volume is, it could be 200 on the left and 100 on the right.
Right, within the same pay period. I was thinking it was, it had to be like your strong leg that 1 week is always going to be your strong leg for every cycle. But I think I'm just like light bulbing right now that's not.
It does. It's calculated daily. Everything's calculated daily. So, but the thing is, if it's flip-flopping, like I said, the carryover volume is just not going to kick in as much as we hope it would. So yes, a lot of volume does get wasted. So that 1,000 that doesn't get used, yes, it's going to go into your carryover. But, if you only tap into that every so often, so the idea to really maximize, exactly what you're going to make every week, double one side.
Yeah.
Again, I'm about consistency. I don't want this flip-flopping stuff because this is my family's only income right now. And, I need it consistently to know how to pay bills and things like that.
Hey, Heather, Julia had another question also. What are the best reports to use in the back office to calculate the volume?
Oh my gosh, I'm not a report girl. I would literally click on the volume, like the right, left side, and then click the right, and then, pull up everybody. And that's how I figured it out. But then it got to be so much. So now I only recognize for volume just for my PS coaches. But my leaders are doing the same thing in their teams, so everybody's getting recognized. So I just go to my sponsorship drill down and I look there.
Perfect.
Well, thank you.
But if I can figure out a better way, I'll tell you. Yeah.
Anybody else have any questions on this?
I was just going to say with the running reports, if you go into sponsorship drill down now, you guys, I think you can drill down 5 levels. So if you just run that sponsorship drill down report, and if you look at the whatever the last day of the week was, you can see what the weekly volume was. So we do that for our team. We just recently started recognizing volume because we found a lot of our coaches were not really responding to Success Club, and we wanted to be able to reward people that maybe aren't hitting Success Club, but are having great volume. And we hope that that would boost their confidence and then grow business. We're finding now that they're celebrating volume and they're not pushing for Success Club. So how do you balance that? Like now that I know volume is obviously where the income is, but of course for elite points and everything, we need people to hit Success Club. Have you found, since focusing on volume, it has had an effect one way or the other on your coaches hitting Success Club?
No, more people are actually hitting it because they're gaining the confidence. I mean, no, it literally took a couple of months, yes, but it's all about confidence. And if you know how to talk to somebody, and the more you talk to somebody, the more the way you talk to them changes, so you begin to say the right things. and that just comes from experience. So the ones that are hitting Success Club are not my new coaches. They're all the ones that have never done anything in the past. So, which is awesome, but no, it doesn't count towards elite. So, so I'm trying to figure out that whole thing. I just feel like there's always a struggle when it comes to volume versus Success Club, and it's based on what is your goal, I think. And hopefully, over the next couple of months, I kind of figure out a way to mesh them. That's what I'm trying right now, is to figure out a way to mesh.
And then this might be kind of a silly question, but you mentioned how you have an incentive for coaches only on one leg to sort of help chase that volume. So I'm guessing this secret from the coaches on the other leg, right? How do you, just sort of in a private message thread, and like, how do you do that in a way that doesn't sound selfish for your own business? You know what I mean?
Yes, I do. Well, honestly, I pretty much stack my weak side. I've just stack. Second and third business, and my husband's business, like they're all on my weak side now. So most of my coaches are going over there. I do, like I said, I'm now chasing rank. So I'm having to rank advance. So I'm having to put people on my strong side, which is still 3 to 4 times what my weak side is still. So, I do, I'll reward. If someone has a great month, obviously, yes, they're going to get a reward, but, I will do a private message strand. Or like one of my coaches, she has Pump Up the Volume group. It's called Pump Up the Volume. And so people in that group get the reward. So we just don't do it all over Facebook. But I work, and that sounds so awful, and I don't mean that, but I would help anybody in my downline, but I worked with people on my weak side, and I went down as far as I could.
Awesome, guys. Sarah,
Okay, anything else you want to add on to that, Heather? I know you're going to probably start thinking of a lot of questions that are going to start coming up with this. So, feel free, of course, to kind of open up and ask maybe some questions, within our group. But I appreciate this call today. I think I have so many coaches that work for one or the other. Just keep in mind, they clearly, truly do go hand in hand, especially, for Heather's point here, now she's capping. Now what does she have to do? She has to advance her business. What does that show her team? To advance and to, see the bigger picture of it. So thank you, Heather, for teaching on this, because the biggest thing is we want to get our coaches started right. We want them to stay consistent, and we want them to stay with it. And that is one of the hardest things to do. If they only get to a diamond, they celebrate, they make $36 a week, and they cannot, pay any bills. So definitely love this topic. Thank you so much, Heather, for taking the time. You are a guru when it comes to this, my lady, so I appreciate it.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but thank you. My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. You all have a great day. Please go in and sign up for a topic that you would like to talk on. I promise you it will be amazing for every single coach to hear from you, but it will also be amazing for you. So if you are scared poopless, I'm going to say, do it. Get out of your comfort zone. Feel great about it. And I will see you all next Monday, okay? Thanks, Heather. Bye, all.